Hello. In this video, the process of creating the game, Brick Game Car Racing, using the C# programming language will be demonstrated. Brick Game Car Racing is a game where players control a car, navigating along a road while avoiding other cars. The objective of the game is to travel as far as possible without colliding with other vehicles. The game calculates the player's score based on the distance traveled. This code defines the interface of the game window. Let's break it down. Border brush equals gray, border thickness equals 10. This border element defines a border around the content, in this case around the canvas element. It has a gray border color and a border thickness of 10 pixels. Canvas X, name equals game canvas. This canvas element represents the game field. It has an identifier game canvas so that it can be referenced from the code. It has a width of 400 pixels, a height of 800 pixels, and a background color of beige. It is also vertically and horizontally centered. The element is set to be focusable so that key events can be received. Is tab stop equals true, and key down and lost focus events are defined to handle them in the code. Button X, name equals button start. This button element represents the start button. It has an identifier button start so that it can be referenced from the code. The button has the text start, a click event handler that is called when the button is clicked, and a background color of yellow-green. It is also centered horizontally. The button is not focusable. Is tab stop equals false. Text block X, name equals game score. This text block element represents the game score. It has an identifier game score so that it can be referenced from the code. It has the text score 0 as the initial game score. The element is aligned to the right horizontally and centered vertically. C# code. Let's break down the different components and functionalities. Constants and variables. The code starts by defining constants for tile size, grid width, grid height, and various positions for cars and guardrails. It also initializes variables for tracking the game state such as whether the game is in progress, the player's score, the current direction of movement, and the positions of cars. Constructor. The main window constructor initializes the game window and sets up initial positions for the cars. It also initializes a timer for game updates. Timer initialization. The initialize timer method sets up a dispatcher timer to handle game updates at regular intervals. Game update logic. The timer_tick method is called on each timer tick. It clears the canvas, redraws the game grid, obstacles, cars, and road guardrails. It also checks for collisions and updates the player's score if the game is in progress. Drawing methods. The draw grid, draw car, draw obstacles, and draw road guardrail methods handle the rendering of different game elements such as the grid, cars, and guardrails on the canvas. Collision detection. The check collision method checks for collisions between the player's car and the obstacles, other cars. If a collision is detected, the game over method is called. Game over. The game over method is called when a collision occurs. It stops the game, plays a game over sound, displays a collision animation, resets the positions of cars, and resets the player's score. Collision animation. The collision animation method displays an animation when a collision occurs. It briefly enlarges the player's car to indicate the crash. Input handling. The game canvas_keydown method handles keyboard input for controlling the player's car, moving left or right. Button click event. The button start_click method handles the click event of a start-stop button. It toggles the game state between running and paused, and starts or stops the background sound accordingly. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated on all new videos.